Hey everybody, and welcome to or back to my channel, My Kind of Stuff. And today I want to talk about June new releases. All right, so these are obviously not going to be all of the books coming out in June. These are just the ones I'm most excited for, and I thought maybe you might want to put them on your TBR too. So let's start off with June 3rd. There are two new releases that I am looking forward to. The first one is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This says Joanne Goodwin has been obsessed with the stars for as long as she can remember. Thoughtful and reserved, Joanne is content with her life as a professor of physics and astronomy at Rice University and is an aunt to her precious niece, Frances. That is, until she comes across an advertisement seeking the first women scientist to join NASA's space shuttle program. Suddenly, Joanne burns to be one of the few people to go to space. Selected from a pool of thousands of applicants in the summer of 1980, Joanne begins training at Houston's Johnson Space Center alongside an exceptional group of fellow candidates. Top Gun pilot Hank Redman and scientist John Griffin, who are kind and easygoing even when the stakes are highest. Mission specialist Linda Danes, who has worked too hard to play nice. Warm-hearted Donna Fitzgerald, who is navigating her own secrets. And Vanessa Ford, the magnetic and mysterious aero engineer who can fly and fix any engine and plane. As the new astronauts become unlikely friends and prepare for their first flight, Joanne finds a passion and a love she never imagined. In this new light, Joanne begins to question everything she thinks she knows about her place in the observable universe. Then, in December of 1984, on mission STS-LR9, everything changes in an instant. I don't know that I so much care about the plot in this one. However, I absolutely love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing. It's always very emotional, and I feel like I tear up reading almost all of her books. So I imagine this one is going to be no different, and I'm excited to check it out. The other book coming out on June 3rd that I want to check out is Of Monsters and Mainframes by Barbara Truelove. I had never heard of this author before, but honestly, like the only reason I even looked at this was because of the cover. It's so weird. I just had to see what it was about. And it is a sci-fi horror fantasy, and it just sounds wild and goofy, and it sounds just like such a fun time. So it says Demeter just wants to do her shuttling of humans between Earth and Alpha Centauri. Unfortunately, her passengers keep dying, and not from equipment failures, as her AI medical system steward would have her believe. These are paranormal murders, and they begin when one nasty ancient vampire decided to board Demeter and kill all of her humans. To keep from getting decommissioned, Demeter must join forces with her own team of a werewolf, an engineer built from the dead, a pharaoh with otherworldly powers, a vampire with a grudge, and a fleet of cheerful spider drones. Together, this motley crew will face down the ultimate evil, Dracula. This says it is the queer love child of pulp horror and classic sci-fi. And this just sounds like such a goofy space odyssey type story that like I don't even know. It sounds like so much fun, and I can't wait to check it out. Then there are 3 books coming out on June 10th that I really want to read. The first one is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. This is kind of like a deadly survival game, one by one trope kind of horror, thriller, mystery. I don't know. I feel like those 3 things always like go together. They always end up being a horror, thriller, mystery. But in 1942, 6 people destroyed Anne Matheson's family. 12 years later, she's ready for retribution. Under false pretenses, Anna has lured those responsible for her family's downfall onto a luxury train from Philadelphia to Chicago. An overnight journey of 14 hours. Her goal? Confront the people who've wronged her, get them to confess their crimes, and deliver them into the hands of the authorities waiting at the end of the line. Justice will at last be served. But Anna's plan is quickly derailed by the murder of one of the passengers. As the train barrels through the night, it becomes clear that someone else on board is enacting their own form of revenge, and they won't stop until everyone is dead. With time running out before the train reaches its destination, Anna is forced to hunt the killer in their midst while protecting the people she hates most. In order to destroy her enemies, she must first save them, even though it means putting her own life at risk. I mean, this just sounds like chaos, and I'm here for it. I love the one by one trope, and I love Riley Sager's writing, so I'm really excited to get into this one. The next book coming out on June 10th that I cannot wait for, it's one of my most anticipated books of the year, and that is Caught Up by Navessa Allen. This is book 2 in the Into the Darkness series. Book 1 was Lights Out, and that was one of my top favorite reads last year. This one we are following Junior, and he knows Lauren is off limits. She is sweetness and laughter, whereas Junior exists in a world of violence and depravity. Men like him don't get to have women like her. It's why he pushed her away back in high school and why he's kept his distance ever since. But when Junior looks Lauren up online, he discovers that the shy, bookish girl he remembers from high school is gone. In her place is a strikingly beautiful woman whose social media is filled with scantily clad pictures of herself and a connection to a nearby players' club. Junior's innocent curiosity quickly turns into dark obsession, but he's watching Lauren from a distance, and that isn't enough anymore. He needs to make her his. Lauren is intrigued by this mystery man who keeps showing up at her club, who tempts her white-hot desires. But as their flirty online messages stir up a deeper form of connection, Lauren worries she's developing real feelings for this brooding stranger. As their combined desire ratchets to a breaking point, who will seduce who first? And will they survive the fall? I can't wait. No words. Just so excited. And the last book coming out on June 10th is King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. I've read a few other stories by him, and they're always very gritty, like epic crime dramas. This one is following the eldest son, Roman Crothers, who is summoned home after his father's car accident. He finds his young brother Dante in debt to dangerous criminals, and his sister Nevaeh exhausted from holding the family and the family business together. Nevaeh and their father, who run the Crothers Crematorium in the downtown central Virginia town of Jefferson Run, sees death up close every day. But mortality draws even closer when it becomes clear that the crash that landed their father in a coma was no accident, and Dante's recklessness has placed them all in real danger. Roman, a financial whiz with a head for numbers and a talent for making his clients rich, has some money to help buy his brother out of trouble. But in his work and wannabe tough guys, he's forgotten that there are real gangsters out there, and his bargaining chips go up in smoke. Roman realizes that has only one thing left to offer to save his family, and that is his own particular set of skills. Roman begins his work for the criminals when Nevaeh tries to uncover a long ago mystery of what happened to their mother, who disappeared when they were teenagers. But Roman is far less of a pushover than the gangsters realize, and he is willing to do anything to save his family. Anything. Because everything burns. This just sounds super epic, and again, I've really liked books from this author before. I've not read everything that he's written, but yeah, I'm really excited for this one. It sounds like a lot of fun. Then on June 17th, there are two more books coming out that I am excited to check out. The first one is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. Um, I read The Dead Romantics by this author and gave it 5 stars. I really loved it. I've not read any of her other books before, but this is definitely one that is on my radar. Joni Lark is living the dream. She's one of the most coveted songwriters in LA, and she can't seem to write. There's an emptiness inside her, and nothing seems to fill it. When she returns to her hometown of Vienna Shores, North Carolina, she hopes that the sand, the surf, and the concerts at the Reverie, her family's music venue, will spark her inspiration. But when she gets there, nothing is how she left it. Her best friend is avoiding her mother's memories are fading fast, and the revelry is closed. How can she think about writing her next song when everything is changing without her? Until she hears it, a melody in her head, lyricless and half formed, and an alluring and addictive voice to go with it, belonging apparently to a wry musician who has hang-ups of his own. Surely he's a figment of her overworked imagination. But then the very real man attached to the voice shows up in Vienna Shores. He's aggravating and gruff on the outside, nothing like the sweet, funny voice in Joni's head. And he has a plan. They'll finish the song haunting them both, break their connection, and hope they don't risk their hearts in the process. Because that song stuck in their heads, maybe it's there for a reason. This sounds like it has like sort of some magical realism sort of vibes to it mixed with like a contemporary romance. And it just sounds like a fun summer read. So I can't wait to check this one out. Another book coming out on June 17th that I thought sounded really interesting and is another like horror mystery thriller is The Farmhouse by Chelsea Conrad. When Emily's mother dies, it's time for her and her husband Josh to finally leave San Francisco. A farm in rural Nebraska is everything they want for a fresh start. Clear skies, low costs, and a distance from the grief back home. They should have asked why the farm was for sale. 3 years ago, a teenage girl went missing from the farm. Soon afterward, the girl's mother mysteriously died. The deeper Emily digs, the more stories she uncovers of women connected to her new home who've met their own dark ends. With each passing day, Emily's sanctuary slips further away. The barn seems to move throughout her property as though it's chasing her. Her mother's favorite music drifts across the cornfields. She swears she saw blood in one of the farmhands' trucks. And the screams that wake her are not fox howls, no matter how many times her husband says they are. If she wants to claim this place as her own, she'll have to find out the truth before whatever watches from the cornfields takes her too. This sounds so creepy. Like, I cannot wait. You know, I love paranormal type of books, and like a creepy cornfield setting on top of being paranormal. Sign me up. I can't wait to check this one out. The last book coming out in June that I want to talk about here is on June 24th, and that is One Dark Kiss, which is book 2 of the Grim Bargains series. I read book 1, One Cursed Rose, quite a few months ago now. Carissa sent me an arc of it. I only gave it 3 stars, but I'm still like interested enough to continue. These are like a modern day dark romance twist on a Snow White story. So here we are following Alexi and Rosalie. The synopsis says Alexi. I've spent the last 7 years in the hell of a maximum security prison, every moment consumed by the need for revenge. Revenge against the bastard who framed me, and revenge against the family who stole everything I owned. Now that I'm finally free, nothing will stand in my way, not even her, my hottest sin new lawyer. Maybe she's another weapon sent by my enemies to break me, or maybe she's the key to my freedom. Either way, once she's mine, I'm never letting her go. Rosalie. When I took this case, I thought I had it under control. But Alexei is no typical convicted killer. He's a dangerously seductive force of nature. Perhaps it's the lingering power from the from his days as heir to a global social media empire. Innocent or not, he's dangerous in the worst and best ways. I secure Alexi's release as we prepare for a new trial, but he wastes no time turning against his traitorous relatives and plotting his return to power. Amidst the chaos, our explosive chemistry ignites, pulling us and everyone I care about in the crosshairs of ruthless enemies. If we can't stop them, Alexei plans to burn the whole world down, and if anything, he's a man of his word. So this obviously is like a crime billionaires type of dark romance. Um, Again, book 1 I gave 3 stars, but I'm still interested enough to give book 2 a try. So, yeah, excited to check this one out as well. And that's it for the June releases that I am interested in. Let me know down in the comments below if you also want to check any of these out, or if there's any that I missed that you think I might be interested in, because I'm always looking for more new books to read. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up on your way out, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!